Are you thinking about moving to France? Well, if you do, your first few months can be very exciting, but it's also going to be a little overwhelming. Don't worry, we've been there. Yeah, we're really still there. And in this video, we'll share 5 tips that made settling in Nice so much easier for us. Let's face it, there are some nights you just don't want to cook. For us, it was when we were taking French class every day and doing homework in the evenings. Our tip is to head to Picard. This is a beloved French frozen food store with everything from ready-made meals, fruits and vegetables, desserts, and appetizers. Oh, and they have pretty good frozen pizza too. It's very, very easy, and in that way, it's almost a little convenient, shall we say, for France.
How un-French.
Very un-French. There are 1,000 Picard stores in France, and they were voted France's favorite retailer in 2021. It may seem pretty un-French, but surprisingly, a frozen food store is very popular in France. Try it out when you come here.
Next, let's talk about tipping. Tipping in France is a bit of a culture shock for Americans. It's just not handled the same way. And once you understand the rules, it's actually pretty easy. If you're enjoying a coffee and a croissant at a cafe, no tip is expected. As a matter of fact, you'll often see service compris written on the menu, which means service is included. Even if it's not written on the menu, by law, French restaurants build a 15% service charge for staff wages into their pricing. So no one's relying on tips to make a living like back in the States. That said, if you get great service, or if you're becoming a regular at a spot you love, it's a kind gesture to leave something extra. 1 to 2 euros at casual restaurants, 5 to 10 at more upscale restaurants. Since they aren't going to give you a credit card slip with a tip line to sign, it's easiest just to leave a euro coin or 2 on the table at the end of your meal. I always make an extra effort to have a few coins on me. If you're paying by card, you can ask the server to add a tip before they run the payment. When they present the charge, just say, "Please add 2 euros to the bill." If you're in a busy tourist area, don't be surprised if the servers ask you directly if you want to leave a tip. As an American, it can feel awkward to say no, but remember the 15% service fee is already included, so anything you add should be a bonus for fantastic service. The French see tipping as a polite way to say thank you to someone for exceptional service rather than an obligation. A small amount is always welcome, but never expected. Think of it as a way to say merci for a great experience, not a mandatory part of the bill.
Our next tip has to do with bonjour.
Bonjour!
Bonjour. Now, this is a tip that you will get from everybody's YouTube channel, and that is that you always want to go into a store, and the first thing that you're going to do is say bonjour to anyone that you think might be working in the store. Even if you're not sure that they're working in the store, say bonjour. You should be the first one to say, and they will return that. But here's the caveat to that, and this is something that Americans, and especially Americans from certain parts of the country, you do not say bonjour to people you pass on the street. For instance, if I'm walking around Houston, Texas, I am going to make eye contact with them, smile, and say hi. Don't do that in France. That's been a very difficult habit for me to break. I still work on that habit on a daily basis. It is different if you run into your neighbors, right? Then you're probably expected to stop and at least greet them and ask them about their day. If you're just walking down the street, do not make eye contact with people and do not say bonjour. It's going to seem rude to you for a while, especially if you are in the habit, like I was, of just genuinely being friendly when you're on the street. So bonjour. Do say bonjour every time you go into a shop. Do not say bonjour to strangers on the street. That's not seen as friendly here. It is seen as weird. Public transportation, honey. Tell them how easy this is.
You're going to love the public transit here. It is so easy and convenient, and the trams are really a great way to get around town. Now, if you're over 65, there's a special rate on an annual tram pass. It's a great deal. If you're over 65, just go ahead and get it, and then you don't even have to worry about this.
We don't qualify yet. Maybe one of us might qualify soon, but not yet.
We're still buying tram tickets as we need them.
Mhm.
But the great thing is once you have the card, you can then do all of your topping up of the card just by using your phone. Just download the Ligne de Jour T app. T stands for tickets. The other Ligne de Jour app has an eye on it, and it has all the tram schedules and tram lines. So make sure it's the one with the T. Just tap your card to the back of your phone, and it'll tell you how many rides you have left and walk you through the steps for topping it up. With this app, you'll always know your balance, and you'll never get caught without a ride.
Brandy, how do I watch my favorite U.S. shows on French television?
This is something that some of the expats run into is they come over here and they turn on Netflix and realize, oh my gosh, it's a completely different content lineup here in France than it is in the US. And so the way you make sure that you're still watching your favorite Netflix or HBO is before you leave the US, make sure you get an Amazon Fire Stick. The Amazon Fire Sticks work really easy. You plug them into your TV. I'd recommend doing this in the US and getting everything set up with all your passwords and all your logins. And then you're going to need to add something to the Fire Stick, which is called a VPN. We use somebody called NordVPN.
VPN is a virtual private network. It doesn't really matter, but now you know.
It protects our phones, our computers, and works on our Fire Stick. Once you've got that all set up, you can just plug it into the back of your French TV when you get here, and boom, it's just like you're back in the States watching TV and all your favorite shows.
That's it. Those are 5 of the specific things that have made our lives easier over the past few months and has eased our transition into life in Nice. We hope that that helps you. Maybe you have a tip or two. If you do, please leave it in the comment section for us. We'd love to have a more expansive list to help people integrate into French life. As usual, thank you so much for coming along with us. It wouldn't be nearly as fun without you. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. A bientôt.
A bientôt.